Washington State picked to finish 11th in the Pac-12 preseason poll. A reminder that there are 11 teams in baseball in the Pac-12. That curve goes over, called strike 2.
And I think already they have surprised some people with how well they've played. Talk about their sweep against Arizona State earlier this year, 6-7 in the conference, 16-12 overall. Nathan Choate's done a really nice job in his first year.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Fastball. Gets him looking. Called strike 3.
Well, Kramer didn't love the call, but I think it was the right one right over the inner half. And to your point earlier, that's what Lim can do so well. He mixes his pitches, changes location, changes the batter's eye, high and low, up and down in the zone, and he froze him there with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Nice action on that pitch from the lefty as well as Alan Shibley stands in. Same pitch, same result. Called strike 1 on Shibley, redshirt junior from Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Transferred from San Jacinto, CC. Shibley batting .265 on the year, 4 home runs and 10 RBI. Also slugging .506 on the season. Swing, and I think that was a foul off. Either way, it's strike 2, whether it's a foul off or whether the ball just recoiled out of Malcolm Moore's glove. Nice day here at Sunken Diamond. 61 degrees as we begin with some heavy cotton clouds hanging over, but still plenty of blue sky. We should remain dry for this one. No balls and 2 strikes. Lim deals. Sky high on the infield. Coming in Becerra at third. Makes the catch and retires the side. 3 up and 3 down. Lim only needs 9 pitches to retire the side. Washington State 0. Stanford coming to bat. And here's the Cardinal batting order. Starting with Owen Cobb, the grad student from the Seattle area. Court McDonald, followed by Malcolm Moore, the reigning Pac-12 freshman of the year. Jimmy Natai in the cleanup spot. Luke Lavin, a freshman, is batting 5th. Charlie Som is Stanford's DH tonight. He's batting 6th. Timo Becerra batting 7th. Trevor Haskins in the 8th spot. And rounding out Stanford's batting order is the hero from last night, Brady Reynolds, whose 3-run bomb in the bottom of the 9th sealed Stanford's comeback win and sent Cardinal fans home very, very happy. Your lefties are McDonald, Moore, Lavin, and Reynolds. Stanford batting .277 as a team coming into today. And, of course, the Clark and Elizabeth Nelson director of baseball for Stanford is David Esker. Defensively for the Cougs, outfield from left to right, Kaysen Taggart, Alan Shibley, and Max Hartman. Around the horn, it's Cole Kramer at third, Jack Wise at short, Crew Park at second, Joey Kramer at first, Will Cresswell behind the plate, and Connor Wilford, a senior from San Clemente, California, transferring from Saddleback CC. He's on the dish, or on the mound, I should say, for Washington State. Wilford, 6'4", 185, kind of a lanky guy. On the year, about to make his 9th appearance and 7th start. A record of 3-2, ERA of 4.46, 40 in the 3rd innings pitched, 49 hits, 25 runs, 20 of them earned. .28 strikeouts, 14 walks, opposing batters hitting .297 against Wilford, who has hit 3 batters this season. Striding up to the plate is Owen Cobb. Cobb, the grad student from Seattle, had his 4-game hit streak snapped last night as he went 0 for 4 and struck out a couple of times. Overall in the season, though, Cobb slashing .255, .310, .462. Team high in total bases with 49. Also has 4 home runs and 17 RBI. Also leads Stanford with 2 triples. So it has been an effective offensive year for Cobb, building on some things that he was able to show for much of last year when he finished the year with a .324 average. First pitch from Wilford misses for ball 1.
Well, Wilford, a guy like Lim, who's not necessarily going to blow you away, but he can mix his pitches well. He has good command, doesn't walk a ton of guys.
Hit to center field. Shibley barely has to move. One away. Wilford's last outing and start was last week, last Friday, as a matter of fact, at UW. 3 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned, walked 3 and struck out 3, and was charged with the loss. As Washington State won the first in the series against Washington last week. In dominant fashion, Grant Taylor pitched like Sandy Koufax. Court McDonald swings and misses at the first pitch he sees for strike 1. Taylor striking out 17 Huskies last night, including 10 in a row. Court McDonald, the batter now, the sophomore from Arlington, Texas, went 2 for 4 last night against the Cougs. Leads Stanford with a .337 batting average and 34 hits. Tied for the team lead in RBI with 18. So it's 3 home runs and is slugging .465. Lazy fly ball, shallow left, very shallow. As shortstop Jack Wise puts the clamps on it. Out number 2. Here comes Malcolm Moore, sophomore from Sacramento. Moore slashing .219, .387, and .500. That slugging percentage is a team high. Tied for the team lead with 18 RBI, has the team lead with 8 home runs. Moore 0 for 2 last night with a run scored. First pitch off speed upstairs for ball 1 to Moore. Wilford last year got a couple of saves, ended up with a ERA of 5.32 in 26 appearances. As a breaking ball misses here, 2-0 to Moore.
We talked about it yesterday with Malcolm Moore. Despite the .219 batting average, still a very high on base percentage because of all the walks he draws. And right here again, not chasing, getting ahead in the count.
3 balls, no strikes from Wilford to Moore. The 3-0 pitch. Malcolm Moore takes it, goes low, and Moore walks on 4 pitches.
And I think that's a good sign for a guy who, you know, as you mentioned, 8 home runs, the power has been there, but I think he'd like to see the average go up. But he's still not forcing it. He's not chasing. He's happy to take that walk, do his part, let his teammates try and knock him in.
And Wilford, also adding on to that, didn't really seem like he wanted any part of Malcolm Moore.
Also a possibility, which maybe not the worst idea when you got a guy with the power of Malcolm Moore.
I can't blame him. Jimmy Natai, the sophomore from Sydney, Australia, watches the first pitch sail upstairs for ball 1. Natai hitting .283 on the year, 1 home run, 13 RBI. Has been hit a team high 6 times by pitches. Foul ground, and trickling it just down the side of the netting that protects the fans from the field of play and bouncing just into the Stanford dugout. So no souvenirs there. I know I see a few youngsters sitting in the second row right behind the dugout. Their eyes probably got a bit wide. Not much of a wind here at Sunken right now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pumps a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. It was very blustery, especially early in the game last night, but the winds calmed down as the evening turned to night. It's pretty chilly, though. It's not chilly now. Feels great. And now they've got Malcolm Moore caught in the rundown. And Moore dragged down from behind by Joey Kramer, and that retires the side. So Moore picked off as he made a move towards second, just as Wilford threw over to first. No score after 1 between the Card and the Cougs. Start of the second inning, game 2 between the Cardinal and the Cougs. Thanks for joining us on Stanford live stream. Kaysen Taggart, one of the offensive leaders for Washington State, starting things off. Taggart slashing .327, .383, and .567. Leads Washington State in various offensive categories. As he looks at the first pitch upstairs for Ball one. Among the categories, tied for home runs, sole lead in RBI with 29, total bases with 59. He also leads Washington State with 33 strikeouts. He goes around here 1-1. Taggart also part of a three-way tie for the team lead in triples with 2. 2-1 after the fastball stays outside from Lim. Lefty on lefty. The 2-1. Hit to center field. McDonald with a way to go, but makes the catch. On the run. 1 away.
Well, again, Christian Lim throwing strikes, keeping his defense alert. And you talked about how efficient he was in the first inning, just 9 pitches, and that's what a coaching staff loves to see. That's how you get deep into ball games.
Griffin Sotomayor, the batter for Washington State. As Lim exhales, deals the first pitch, a fastball right down the middle for a called strike 1. Sotomayor, a sophomore from Turlock, California, out in the valley. Turlock High School in the building. Swings and misses at the off-speed here. 0-2. Sotomayor on the year hitting .208 with 1 home run and 3 RBI. Down in the count here, 0-2. Lim deals. Got him. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Christian Lim.
That one at 75 miles an hour. He's done a nice job keeping batters off balance this first time through the lineup.
Lim with 5 strikeouts versus 2 walks in his last start last week at Utah. Did not factor in the decision. Stanford went on to drop that one to the Utes. But Lim gave Stanford 6 innings, 3 runs, all earned. Will Cresswell, the junior from Auburn, Washington. Looks the first pitch just a bit low for ball 1. Cresswell went to Puyallup High School. And on the year, batting .256, no home runs and 1 driven in. Waves at the off-speeder here, 1-1. Cresswell. His uncle Jonathan is a pro ultimate frisbee player in Taiwan. How about that? If you can get paid for doing something cool like that, do it.
Absolutely.
Hit to center field. McDonald going back, still going back, and he makes the catch a few feet shy of the track for the 3rd out. 9 pitches in the first inning, 10 pitches in the second inning for Christian Lim. Bottom second in just a moment. Scoreless between Washington State and Stanford. Great to have you with us as we begin the bottom of the second inning. Looking for the first run of the game. Heck, we're looking for the first hit of the game. Let's see if Jimmy Natai can provide it. Natai was at the plate when Moore was picked off at first. That's how the bottom of the first ended. So Natai steps back up to the plate. Natai 0 for 4 last night against Washington State. Began the season with a 10-game hit streak, hitting .474 during that span. And he hits this one deep to center field. Shibley back, settling under it, and it goes off his glove. Did that go over the fence as well? As Natai is in at second. And they are going to call this a home run.
That's what I thought.
It went off of Shibley's glove and over the fence. The umpire in the outfield, not sure which one it is signaling home run. He's been doing that for the last 10 seconds. Now it finally dawns on everyone, and Natai goes around the world, completes the round tripper, and Stanford takes a 1-0 lead.
And, of course, Nathan Choate needs an explanation here. We'll see if there's a review, but that's what I saw, Troy. I saw it go off the glove and over the fence, which would be a home run, and I think that the umpires got it right here. A fortunate break for the Cardinal. Jimmy Natai will very much take it, his second home run of the year.
Out of Shibley's glove, over the fence, off of the batter's eye, and then back into the field of play. That's a home run. So Nathan Choate gets the explanation. I'm sure some answers that he would not have preferred to have heard. And we go back to play without a review.
Boy, Nati got that one pretty good. It carried 103 miles per hour was the exit velocity, 405 feet to dead center in the biggest part of the yard, and off the glove and out.
Maybe technically 399.6.
Yeah.
As this one is roped right down the first base line, foul.
Maybe a little bit of an assist for those last few feet.
That was right at the 400 sign. It's Luke Lavin, the lefty, batting now for Stanford. Lavin, a freshman from Laguna Beach, looks at strike two. On the year, Lavin hitting .250, no home runs and 4 RBI. And that pitch goes about 55 feet and bounces to Cresswell. We should mention the umpires, by the way. We haven't done that yet. Kelly Gonzalez is calling balls and strikes. Joe Maiden at first. Michael Chukerman at second. And Scott Latender at third. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reaches out, fouls this one. Off the top of the screen, just above the Washington State dugout. One ball, 2 strikes. Tries an off-speeder. Lavin doesn't go for it. 2-2. Stanford with its 26th home run of the year. In front of this one, bounces it foul. Count stays at 2-2. And that was Natai's second home run of the year. His other one coming at Washington back on March 9th, a solo shot up in Montlake. This one's down the line and fair. Lavin hustling around first. Hartman finally getting there. And a double down the right field line for Luke Lavin.
And that was a tough pitch to hit. Not a mistake at all by Wilford, but credit to Lavin going down and getting it, waiting on it, timing it up, and just sort of lofting it down the line.
Here's Charlie Somm, junior from Thousand Oaks, batting .310 with 4 home runs and 10 RBI on the season. He's been swinging a hot stick of late. That's why he has been assuming DH duties so far in this series. Looks at a curve with a lot of movement, but doesn't catch the strike zone. Somm ahead in the count 1-0. Wilford deals. That's a fastball in the inside corner, 1-1. Somm 2 for 3 with an RBI single to give Stanford a 1-0 lead last night. On the ground to first, and Kramer's only option is to tag the bag himself. 2 away with Lavin advancing to third.
That's a nice job by Somm. Almost shot it through the right side of the infield, but at the very least moves the runner up. And that's a good professional type at bat. You don't need the sacrifice. That serves essentially as a sacrifice.
Here's Timo Becerra, junior from Clovis, California. With Lavin at third. Blocked by Cresswell, ball 1. Becerra on the season, slashing .313, .369, and .343. No home runs, 9 RBI. Leads Stanford with 18 runs scored so far this year. In front of this one, fouls it off 1-1. Becerra homered against Cal State Fullerton in the regionals last year.
Washington State electing not to bring the infield in. Still early here in the second inning.
Fouled off again, 1-2. Stanford advancing to Omaha 3 straight years. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Tapped to third, backhanded. Cole Kramer to Joey Kramer. So Lavin stays put at third.
That's a nice play at third by Kramer, backhanding it smoothly. And I think a good decision by Lavin. If he tries to come down the line, he's probably thrown out at home. So that's a big second out for Wilford, obviously, but still a tough hitter to get through.
Trevor Haskins has a 6-game hit streak. He's at the plate now. Fastball swings right through it for strike 1. Haskins on the year hitting .274, 321 batting average, 321 on base percentage rather, 463 slugging percentage. 2 home runs and 15 RBI as Cresswell rolls to block that one 1-1. I was somewhat surprised last night that David Esker opted to pinch hit for Trevor Haskins in the 9th inning last night. Sent Brandon Larson up to the plate, and it worked. Larson got hit by a pitch. That one's hit to right field, and making the running grab, Max Hartman makes the catch waist high and retires the side. Stanford leaves one at third, but a round tripper by Jimmy Natai is why Stanford is leading Washington State 1-0 after 2. 1-0 Stanford leading Washington State. Start of the 3rd inning. And Ben Ross has the play-by-play for the 3 and the 4.
All right, Troy, thank you very much. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for Washington State. Cole Kramer, Jack Wise, and Crew Park trying to solve Christian Lim, who's retired the first 6 Cougars that he's faced today. Remember, last night Matt Scott retired the first 10 in a row before Washington State was able to get a base runner. Cole Kramer batting .358 on the year and takes high and away for ball 1.
Yeah, Scott retired the first batters he faced, did not allow a base hit until the 22nd batter that he faced. Happened to be an RBI single.
That's in there to even the count 1-1. Well, Lim has been efficient through the first 2, just 19 pitches. So he's now at 21, a chance perhaps to get deep into this game for the freshman left-hander. And now ahead in the count 1-2.
A curve by Christian Lim. Cole Kramer timed it just a little bit off, maybe just a bit in front of it.
Kramer a rare 0 for 4 last night. As we said, he's hitting .358 on the year. A home run, 18 RBIs. And he fouls that one back. Count holds at 1-2.
Yeah, he went on a 7-game tear between February 24th and March 8th, hit 400 and drove in 6 along the way. He has 4 3-hit games this year.
A luxury to have a guy like that in your 7th spot in the batting order. But he looks at strike 3 there on the outside corner. Christian Lim picks up his 3rd punch out.
Christian crossing up Cole Kramer with curves. Say that 3 times fast.
I'll leave that to you.
No, I barely said it one time through relatively slowly.
So 7 in a row retired by Lim, and now here's the number 8 hitter, Jack Wise. He takes a fastball for ball 1, 90 miles an hour. Wise, 1 for 13 on the year. This is just his 3rd start, his 13th appearance of the season. Out in front there, and it's 1-1.
Curve again.
Wise, a junior from Reno. Went to Bishop Manogue High School, then went to Sierra College before transferring to Washington State. 1-2. Again, Lim really doing a good job keeping hitters off balance and getting ahead in counts.
Featuring his breaking ball so far in this frame along the way.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Lim coming into action today, as we said, had 46 strikeouts through 35 2/3 innings of work. He's lowered his ERA now to 3.08. Just 11 walks the whole season. Now upwards of 38 innings pitched. The 2-2. Poked foul. Well, this Cardinal pitching staff, we've talked about how Matt Scott and Christian Lim have really given David Esker a nice 1-2 punch. A couple of young arms. Scott has won Pitcher of the Week. Lim already has won it twice in the Pac-12. As that's popped up, shallow center field. And it's actually the shortstop Haskins who goes out to get it. So 2 up, 2 down. Crew Park will be the batter now for Washington State. Senior batting .247. No home runs, 19 RBIs. Was 0 for 2 last night, but did walk twice and scored 2 runs. And he looks at ball 1, little inside.
Yeah, both of those walks on Park last night led off innings. In both those instances, Park came around to score.
That catches the inside corner, 1-1. Park from Mesa, Arizona. Went to Westwood High School, then Abilene Christian. On the outside corner, 1-2.
So inside corner gets the strike called on a fastball. Now he goes a curve on the outside corner, gets it called.
And as a hitter, that is tough when a pitcher can hit both sides of the plate like that. Mixed speeds. Comebacker. Bobbled for a moment, but Lim still has time. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. 9 up, 9 down for Christian Lim. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Stanford leading it 1-0. We head to the bottom of the third inning at Klein Field. 1-0. Stanford on top of Washington State. And the 9-1-2 hitters for the Cardinal coming up. Brady Reynolds, Owen Cobb, Court McDonald. And, of course, Brady Reynolds, the walk-off hero last night, a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 9th to cap a 4-run inning. And give the Cardinal a 5-3 victory in Game 1 of the series. He takes ball 1. Reynolds batting .250, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. As Wilford comes back with a strike. That ball was crushed last night, too. It was a no-doubter off the bat.
Yeah, 1 of 3 that he hit very hard last night.
Off the end of the bat to third base, Kramer just gets him by a half step, and that's the first out.
Yeah, he hit one to right field that was dropped by Max Hartman. Deep in the right field corner, but was thrown out 9-6-5. And he hit another one deep to center field to end the 7th inning, and unfortunately prevent Stanford from scoring in that position. Third time was the charm.
Back to the top of the order now for Owen Cobb, who flied to center field in the bottom of the first inning. Senior batting .252, 4 home runs, 17 runs batted in. And a breaking ball stays high for ball 1.
Yeah, and that one had some movement on it too. A little, not just break, but a little side-to-side action as well.
A little knuckle action maybe. The 1-0. Golf to left field and deep. Taggart back at the wall, leaps, it's gone! Second home run of the day for the Cardinal, and they lead it 2-0. Home run number 5 for Owen Cobb.
Well, during the half-inning break, they had one of the fans get on top of the Stanford dugout and do a little putt-putt competition for a prize. Maybe that inspired Cobb because he just golfed that one out of here. Went down low, lifted it high, and it just kept right on carrying.
He certainly did. It was not a bad pitch. As a little tapper out in front of the mound from McDonald, and there's no play. Wilford Lost his balance. That would have been a tough play. We'll see. I think it's going to be an infield single for Court McDonald, and it is.
Well, no matter what, it's going to make the blooper reel.
It's been an eventful inning already. So McDonald now 1 for 2. Going back to Cobb, though, that home run, he really did have to go down and get it. And again, Wilford, he's made some good pitches that Cardinal hitters have still been able to reach down or reach out and get. And now here's Malcolm Moore. Throw to first, McDonald dives back.
So Cobb with 5 home runs on the year this year. He had 6 last year. The first home run of his Stanford career didn't come until against Cal, February 21st of last year.
The power stroke has arrived.
Yeah, and he'd seen a pretty decent amount of playing time coming into last year. He had a bit of an injury in one of the seasons leading up to this, but Cobb is finding a way to put it over the fence.
Here's the 1-0 to Malcolm Moore, 2-0. Remember, he took a 4-pitch walk in the first inning. He's taking 2 more balls here.
Yeah, Wilford avoiding Moore in his first plate appearance.
Court McDonald, good speed at first, 7 for 9, stealing bases this year. As that catches the outside corner for a strike.
Okay. Starting to wonder there for a second.
Moore batting .219, leads the team with 8 home runs. That's the 5th most in the Pac-12. 18 RBIs. Rips that one to right center field, and that's a base hit. Around second is McDonald. He'll get to third easily. And Stanford, runners on the corners, looking to add to this 2-0 lead. Still just 1 out in the inning.
Solid contact by Malcolm Moore, and perhaps that's a big reason why Connor Wilford was avoiding Malcolm Moore like I avoid layovers at O'Hare.
Like I avoid vegetables.
I used to avoid vegetables. Then one day I was like, you know what? Maybe these aren't so bad.
Depends which ones we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Well, a conference on the mound here as Nathan Choate goes out to talk to Wilford. This is a big moment in this game. You've got Jimmy Nadhai coming to the plate. He homered his first time up today. A chance to really break this game open for the Cardinal. By the way, that base hit by Malcolm Moore, 106 exit velocity. So he certainly ripped it. Stanford now with 2 runs on 5 hits. Washington State, no runs, no hits. Wilford is at 39 pitches. And again, he's given up some base hits, but I feel like he hasn't made a ton of mistakes. It's just credit to these Cardinal hitters for hitting tough pitches.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that last one to Moore was, over the plate a little more than he would have liked. But when you talk about the home run earlier this inning from Owen Cobb, the double from Lavin a couple innings ago. Here's Jimmy Nadhai, who had a rare home run his first time up. Pops the first one up, but it's going to carry pretty well to right field. This should be deep enough to score McDonald from third. And he tags up to come home to make it 3-0. So that's the second RBI today for Nadhai. Just to go back to what I said about his home run, not rare in terms of him hitting a home run, but how it left the yard, off the glove of Shibley in center and over the wall. This one stayed in the park, but it was still effective.
Well, for Shibley, better off his glove than off his head.
You don't want to be the Jose Canseco highlight.
Yeah, ask Jose for his thoughts on that.
The fact that that's the first thing that comes to my mind all these years later means that
wow.
It's one that's going to be around, and he probably won't be able to live down. You just got to laugh about it.
Well, and that dude had some memorable plays. I remember him sending one into the upper deck at Sky Dome, Game 3 of the '89 ALCS.
Now, what was that, about 500 feet?
I remember going to Toronto a couple years after that, and they had that seat painted where that ball actually landed. And I went up there, and I turned around and looked back, and I could see Buffalo and Niagara Falls.
Wow. Luke Lavin at the plate. He's ahead in the count now, 2-1. We mentioned his double in the second inning. So he's 1 for 1 today, batting .268 on the season. No home runs, 4 RBIs. Two-one pitch is high and away. 3 balls and a strike. Charlie Somm waiting on deck. 3-0 Stanford. Bottom of the third, 2 outs. Malcolm Moore on first base. And a check swing is a called strike anyway. Full count. Moore will get a head start on the pitch. Here it comes. And it's strike 3 called on the inside corner. So Wilford comes back from the 3-1 count. Picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon, but the Cardinal score 2 runs. And at the end of 3, Stanford leading Washington State 3-0. Stanford leading Washington State 3-0 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be the top of the order for Washington State. Second time through against Christian Lim, who has retired the first 9 he's faced. So Max Hartman, Joey Kramer, and Alan Shibley set to bat here in the 4th. Cardinal took the first game of this series last night, 5-3 in walk-off fashion. 4 runs in the 9th inning, capped by Brady Reynolds' 3-run homer. And now they're trying to clinch a series victory today. Hartman goes the opposite field pretty deep, but just enough room for Lavin on the warning track. A long first out, but 10 in a row retired by Christian Lim.
Yeah, Lavin showing a little bit of range there. I thought that might be trouble as soon as it went off of Hartman's bat, but Lavin able to range back there and make the catch just shy of the track.
And that'll bring up Joey Kramer, who was caught looking his first time up today. Takes a first pitch off speed delivery at 77 miles an hour for a strike. Well, Christian Lim has been pounding the strike zone. That was his 36th pitch, 28 strikes. And there's number 29, 0-2. Kramer hitting .319, tied for the team lead with 6 home runs. Reaches out, drives it to left, but playable. Lavin makes the second out. 11 up, 11 down for Christian Lim to start this game. He's lowered his ERA now to 2.97. His whip has dropped beneath 1 at 0.99. That's walks and hits divided by innings pitched, which, if you're under 1, that is elite.
Yeah, is that good?
That is great. First pitch to Alan Shibley misses high. Shibley popped out his first time up. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1.
Lim's curve has been on point so far this afternoon.
He has not had to work out of the stretch. 1-1 pitch, fouled back, came back with 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And he's ahead in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, Lim not just dropping it down in the middle, but he's also hitting corners, hitting spots with his curve as well.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Had Shibley out in front for his 4th strikeout of the day. 12 up, 12 down for Christian Lim. And we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Stanford up 3-0. 3-0 Stanford on top of Washington State as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Charlie Somm, Timo Becerra, and Trevor Haskins due up. 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Cardinal against the right-hander Connor Wilford. Somm 0 for 1 today, grounded out to first, I should say, in the second inning as he fouled that one off. Psalm 9 for 30 on the year with 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. How about that? Just 30 at bats, but he's already left the yard 4 times. Another foul, and it's quickly 0-2. No runs, no hits, no errors for Washington State. 3 runs on 5 hits, and no errors for the Cardinal, as Christian Lim has been locked in. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-2. Psalm had a good game yesterday. In the series opener, was 2 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. The 1-2. Caught looking. Second strikeout today for Connor Wilford, and that's how the bottom of the 4th starts.
Back-to-back Ks for Wilford, who appeared to be in some distress in the last half inning, but has settled down the last couple batters that he's faced.
No, Wilford's pitch count still all right. 50 pitches through 3 1/3 now. And he will face Timo Becerra, who grounded to third his first time up. Rips that one past third. And this could be extra bases. Becerra heading into second with a stand-up double. That's the 6th hit today for the Cardinal, 4th double of the year for Timo Becerra.
Well, and Stanford, which has had trouble at points this season getting big hits. You mentioned the 6 hits for the Cardinals so far, 4 of them extra bases, 2 doubles and 2 solo home runs. And maybe a bit of an extension of what Stanford's been able to do with their bats for much of this week. Came alive in Lubbock. They didn't get a chance to win either of those games, but you still liked what you saw from Stanford from a batting standpoint for much of this week.
You're absolutely right. Putting up double-digit runs against Texas Tech. The rally in the 9th inning last night. As a called strike to Trevor Haskins, who hit for the cycle a couple of games ago in Lubbock. On the ground to short. Wise will try to third, not in time. Oh my goodness. Becerra with some aggressive base running. You rarely see a runner on second try and take third on a ground ball in front of him. But he got a great jump, and I think there, if you're Wise with 1 out already, you got to take the sure out at first.
Yeah, a lot of gambling going on that last sequence. And the Cougs coming up snake eyes. I am surprised as well that Wise didn't try to just merely take first and let Becerra just advance over to third. So Cardinal aggressive, Cougs aggressive too, but it only pays off for one side.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for the Cardinal to add to the lead. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Brady Reynolds. And a fastball on the inner half. Reynolds grounded out in the 3rd inning. He had the big walk-off home run last night. A 3-run shot in the bottom of the 9th to win it for Stanford. The 0-1. Popped up. And this will be a big second out for Wilford, as the runners have to stay put.
Off the fist, a swing that Brady would love to have back.
So again, you hate to play the what-if game, but that could be the 3rd out if Wise had thrown to first to take the sure out last batter. Mm-hmm. But the Cardinal will get another chance here with their leadoff hitter, Owen Cobb, who homered last time up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. His 5th home run of the year, and now a chance to do more damage. Cobb batting .259 with those 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Upright batting stance. And a called strike. Wilford just trying to keep his team close. Christian Lim on the other side has been terrific so far for Stanford. That's ripped, but right at the 3rd baseman, Kramer. And it will end the inning. Nice job by Wilford. Pitching out of the jam. We'll head to the 5th from Stanford. Cardinal still leading at 3-0. Stanford 3, Washington State nothing as we head to the 5th inning. Ben Ross and Troy Clardy will take over the play-by-play.
Thank you, Ben. Washington State has not won a series against Stanford since 2010. If they want to break that streak for the final opportunity for the foreseeable future, they need to win this one here today. Stanford with other ideas, however. Cardinal with the lead, top of the 5th. The 4, 5, 6 batters due up for Washington State in this frame, beginning with Kaysen Taggart, who flew out to center in the 2nd inning. No base runners yet for Washington State as that curve starts high, stays high, ball 1. Christian Lim, 42 pitches through 4 innings of work. Misses outside, 2-0. Lim struck out 11 in 6 1/3 in a start against Creighton a couple weeks ago. And this is Lim's first 3-ball count of the day. Facing Kaysen Taggart. The 3-0 pitch. Fastball right down the middle. Called strike 1. Lim rears back with the 3-1, and now works it back full. A couple fastballs right down the middle. Bit of a late cut on that fastball from Lim. Payoff pitch. Fly ball, playable. Lavin, left field. Out number 1.
What a recovery from Lim behind in the count, 3-0. Got back to throwing strikes. Gets the out, continues the run.
We'll give you some scores around the rest of the Pac-12 here in just a moment. Griffin Sotomayor, the DH for Washington State, struck out in the 2nd inning. Popped up, could be playable. Moore trying to locate it, and it falls just in front of the Stanford dugout. So strike 1 to Sotomayor. In Corvallis, Oregon State leading Arizona State 4-0. That game in the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 USC leading Washington at the end of 3. It's a home game for USC, but they're playing down in Irvine because Dato Field is being brought up to code. Top of the 4th in Berkeley, Arizona leading Cal 2-0. The 0-1 pitch from Lim. Good fastball. Swings right through it. And Sotomayor is down in the count 0-2. 2 more games later on today. CSUN versus Utah at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. As the 0-2 on the way. Got him. Christian Lim is dialed in.
And again, it's not that it's overpowering, that fastball at 90, but it's the location, it's the movement, and it's the mixing of pitches to keep hitters off balance. That's 5 strikeouts now for Lim.
You know what they call that? Command for a freshman. You like to see it.
I mean, that's the other thing that's so impressive. You know, how often do you see freshmen with great stuff, but they can't command it?
Yep.
They don't know where it's going.
Yep.
Lim is that's what makes him, to me, look older than he is.
And now Lim breaking out the curveballs again. Swing and a miss, strike 1 to Cresswell. One more game later on today, a 6:05 p.m. first pitch down in Westwood, Oregon, trying for a 7th consecutive win as they face UCLA. Ducks on top of the Pac-12 table. Swing and a miss on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. That might be the fastest speed at which Lim has fired a fastball so far today with Cresswell down 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Thinks about it and does not hold up. Goes around, and Christian Lim is in full command. 15 up, 15 down. Bottom of the 5th in just a moment. Stanford ahead, 3-0. 3-0 Stanford leading Washington State as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning on a pleasant afternoon at Sunken Diamond. Puffy clouds hanging over the campus, the coastal foothills within sight beyond the campus. Nice day overall. It was 61 degrees when we began this one. Might be a couple degrees warmer by now. But spring is starting to spring here in the Bay Area. In other parts of the country, maybe not quite so much. Court McDonald in the 2 spot, the Stanford batter. Rolling it to Park at second. 1 away.
Yeah, some snow in Pullman yesterday.
How about that?
Good running into AP writer Janie McCauley before the game, a Washington State alum.
One of the great Cougs.
And she was saying, she talked to the team, and they were happy to get out of the snow. Come down here, it's, pretty 60s weather, partly cloudy. Not bad. Feels like spring.
Yeah, good to see Janie in the building.
As you said, one of the all-time Cougs is right.
Wilford gets the curve over for the inside corner for strike 1. Malcolm Moore walked in the first, singled in the third.
He's had some good at-bats so far in this series. And he clobbered that single his first time up.
Hammers this one foul. He's down in the count 0-2. Janie McCauley, member of the graduate from the Murrow School of Journalism up in Pullman. They've turned out some pretty good folks up that way over the years. No balls, 2 strikes. And this one down the line and fair. Rolling to the corner. Malcolm Moore in with the double. Moore with the walk, a single, and a double. And he's pumped.
He's starting to see the ball real well at the plate. And that is a scary sight for the rest of the Pac-12. We talked about his 8 home runs this year, but now he's starting to get some other hits. The walks have been coming all year. And that's certainly a big part of this Cardinal offense.
Jimmy Nadi's driven in 2. Sac fly RBI in his last plate appearance. And a solo home run to begin the second. Swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. It's Janie McCauley, Cindy Brunson, who does a lot of basketball work in particular for Pac-12 Network.
Yep.
And other various outlets. Good breaking ball there. Slider, perhaps, is. And I can't catch up with it. Down in the count 0-2.
The only annoying thing about how many Washington State, grads from that great program are, you have to hear about it every time they do so well.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the putout down at first. Well,
their teams, I find that with Syracuse.
Yeah, I was about to say, it could be worse. Could be Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm just talking about on Twitter. You see it with Syracuse, Northwestern, Missouri, and then Washington State's another great one. All the sports personalities. But you're right. Syracuse is probably at the top of that list as far as sports TV personalities and radio guys.
Yeah, but Coug fans don't have that annoyance factor that Syracuse does.
No, you're right. There's more humility, I think.
Curve to Luke Lavin goes over for strike 1. Lavin doubled in the second and struck out in the third.
And, of course, I'm only joking. It's all in good fun. I know plenty of great Syracuse guys.
I'm not. No balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball again. Cresswell tracks it down.
The Cuse.
Stanford football, of course, will be in Syracuse. That's a Friday night game mid-September. I'll try to get a table at Dinosaur Barbecue the night before the game. Syracuse men's basketball will come out here to Maples Pavilion. So I'm sure there'll be 26 student broadcasters in the building running around Maples that day. The 1-1. Foul tip, 1-2. Of course, Keith Jackson, one of the all-time greats.
Yep. Still
the voice of college football, even though he's been gone for quite a while. You know, you go to the Rose Bowl and that place is empty and you just stand there and you just look around. You hear Keith Jackson's voice, and it's a really cool thing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thought about it. 2-2. Runner at second, Malcolm Moore, who doubled. Dancing around. But Wilford comes to the plate with it, and it's rolled foul. Count stays at 2-2.
Wilford's done a nice job in this game. He's given up 7 hits, but limited the damage. Kept his team in this game down by 3. That's all you can do when the other pitcher is rolling like Lim.
Back to Wilford, who snares it, shovels it to first, and retires the side. Moore's double leads him to second, but he's stranded there. And it remains a 3-0 Stanford lead after 5 on the Stanford live stream. Cardinal on top of the Cougs 3-0 after 5 innings of play. How will the 6th and the 7th innings unfold? Ben Ross has those answers. He's on play-by-play.
All right, let's find out together, Troy, as it'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for Washington State. Cole Kramer, Jack Wise, Crew Park trying to solve Christian Lim, who has retired the first 15 Cougars he has faced today. And Kramer shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike. Kramer caught looking in the 3rd inning. Maybe not a bad idea.
Yeah, I can't blame the Cougs for trying more unconventional methods, perhaps, on getting on base.
1-1 now.
Because they haven't been on base at all so far, and we're in the 6th inning.
And just, I think at this point, you need a base runner. You need to see if you can get Lim into the stretch and get him out of this great rhythm he's in. And out in front with a swing and a miss, 1-2. Lim has been so efficient today as well. He's only at 57 pitches in the 6th inning. 2-2. Kramer leading the team with a .355 batting average. A home run and 2 triples, 7 doubles, 18 runs batted in. And that's just outside. A rare 3-ball count today. Might just be his 2nd by my count.
Mine too. And that didn't miss by a whole lot.
Here's the payoff pitch. That's well outside. So there is the first base runner of the day for Washington State. A leadoff walk in the top of the 6th.
After retiring the first 15 in a row. Last night, Matt Scott retired the first 10 that he faced.
So the Cougars, as well as Lim has pitched, they're still right in this game, and that's credit to Connor Wilford, who again has gotten out of a couple of jams, limited the damage to 3 runs. Potential tying run now in the on-deck circle for Washington State as Wise comes to the plate and fouls the first pitch back. Jack Wise 0 for 1 this afternoon, popped out in the 3rd inning. He's now 1 for 14 on the year. Does have 4 walks and a couple of runs scored. And a throw over to first base. Kramer has stolen 4 bags this year. Always a little tougher to steal on a left-handed pitcher. As the breaking ball is in there, 0-2.
That's been his best pitch of the afternoon. Or his best pitch this afternoon, I should say, that curve.
Well, this is his first time in the stretch today, and so far so good, a couple of strikes. Now the 0-2, instead another check on Kramer at first, who's back safely. Christian Lim looking for his third win of the year. He's 2-2, a 2.88 ERA. And that one closer at first base. Kramer a little bit late getting back, but still able to dive in safely. Malcolm Moore threw out a couple of runners yesterday at second base. He's caught 14 runners stealing this year. Fastball just inside, 1-2. As Troy mentioned earlier, Washington State trying to win their first series against Stanford since 2010. Cardinal have won 7 games in a row against the Cougars. That's pulled softly to short. Haskins will get the force out, and that's all. So they get the lead runner, not hit hard enough to turn 2, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, not mad at Cobb just eating that ball and hanging on to it.
Brings up Crew Park, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. 0 for 1 today, grounded out back to the pitcher. Hitting .244 this year. So Stanford has won 7 straight against the Cougars. They've won 20 of the last 21 games after last night's comeback win. So as good as Washington State has been this year, in recent history, the Cardinal have owned this series as that's ball 1. The last home loss for Stanford against Washington State 8 years ago, 2016. They've won 9 in a row since in this ballpark. As Crew Park takes ball 2. So he can look for something to drive here. Let's see where Lim goes on 2-0. Comes with the fastball and paints it nicely. 2-1.
Park has grounded into 3 double plays so far this season.
Wise at first base. He has 1 stolen base this year. And a check on him. He dives back. Oh, they're going to call that a balk. So Wise will take second. And for the first time today, the Cougars with a runner in scoring position.
Second balk we've seen of this series.
Well, Stanford dugout not happy about it. David Esker disagrees.
Yeah, Grant Taylor got called for 1 for Washington State last night.
Barking at the third base umpire, Scott Latender. 2-1 pitch to Park. Able to lay off. It was a little bit low, I guess. Pretty good pitch, though. And now it's 3-1 with the leadoff man, Max Hartman, on deck. That's going to get out of play. And the count goes full 3-2. Last night was the first time all season that Washington State has lost a game when leading after the 8th inning. And what do we have here? Did someone just get tossed? Scott Latender, the third base umpire, pointing at someone in the Stanford dugout. And maybe just giving one last warning to stop the barking. The crowd doesn't like it, as you might be able to hear.
Someone just got yellow carded? Is this soccer? Going in the book?
Yeah, I couldn't tell what he pulled out there. Well, I think maybe what David Esker wasn't happy about was who called the balk. I think it was Latender at third base, and he's saying he's got his back to you. Normally it would be the first base umpire or home plate to make that call. Anyway, The 3-2 pitch. In the air to left center field and pretty deep, but Lavin has a play on the warning track. And that's the second out.
And that might be the most well-struck ball that the Cougs have had so far this afternoon. Cresswell went deep to center to end the second, but I'm hard-pressed to think of any other balls that have traveled at least that far off of Washington State bats so far this afternoon.
Yeah, Lim has done a great job avoiding barrels. A lot of soft contact, 6 strikeouts. That one, 371 feet, the estimate. And now here is Max Hartman. Curveball for a strike. Hartman grounded out in the first inning, flied out in the fourth. Batting .325, no home runs, 27 RBIs.
And 0 for 7 so far this series.
Lim takes a look back at second, now comes to the plate. And it's 1-1. Hartman, the sophomore from St. Albert in Alberta, Canada. Cougars still looking for their first hit. To get one here, it would probably produce a run. Fastball outside, 2-1.
Yeah, St. Albert, northwest of Edmonton. So he's from way up north in Canada. Hometown of Jerome McGinley and Mark Messier. A couple NHL players of some note.
Oh, yeah.
I'm told.
Some hockey royalty. As that's outside, 3-1. Well, Pullman weather probably doesn't bother him at all then.
No. It's probably shorts weather.
3-1. Joey Kramer would hit next. Lim trying to get the final out of this 6th inning. Chopper on the ground to second. Cobb to first base, and that will end the top of the 6th. Nice job by Christian Lim, pitching around the walk and the balk. And he puts up another 0. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Stanford up 3-0. Stanford 3, Washington State nothing as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cardinal will send up the 6, 7, 8 hitters. Charlie Somm, Timo Becerra, Trevor Haskins. Facing Connor Wilford, who's back out for his 6th inning of work. And he delivers a strike at the knees to Somm. Charlie 0 for 2 today. Batting .290, 9 for 31 on the season. 1-1 now. 4 homers for Charlie Somm and 10 runs batted in. Just got a piece of that one, 1-2.
There is some light action right now in the Washington State bullpen with Wilford's pitch count now up to 73.
Two and two now. Well, Wilford, again, has really done a good job limiting the damage. He's allowed 7 hits and a walk. 2 home runs among those 7 hits, but just 3 runs. And another foul.
And he had a good start against Arizona State a couple weeks ago. 7 in the 3rd. 9 hits, 2 runs, just 1 of them earned. A couple walks, a couple strikeouts, and got the win that day. Went 7 2/3 against Utah on March the 9th.
2-2 pitch. Another foul.
Has gone as long as 109 pitches. That against Arizona State a couple weeks ago. But usually seems to get up to around 90 or so.
Stroke to shallow center field. Shibley coming on to get there. Lost the hat, but made the catch. So here's Timo Becerra with 1 out. He doubled his last time up, 1 for 2 today. Becerra batting .317. No home runs, 9 RBIs. And he takes a strike.
Good slider there from Wilford. 2 years at Saddleback Community College. But before that, began his collegiate career at Cal Poly down in San Luis Obispo, a place you know fairly well.
Yeah. The Mustangs. Little pop-up shallow right field. Hartman coming in, but it's the second baseman, Park, who goes out. Oh, I don't know. You probably know this, but you know who Cal Poly football is playing this coming year.
Yes.
They'll be playing up here.
September, whatever that first Saturday in September is. Yep.
The Cardinal will be hosting Cal Poly.
September 7th, I want to say. That'll be Stanford's second game of the year.
Trevor Haskins, with 2 out now in the inning, takes outside for ball 1.
The home opener against TCU, a Friday night game the week before.
That'll be a good test. 2-0 now on Haskins, who's 0 for 2 today, batting .268. 2 home runs. And now 3-0. Haskins, we mentioned a couple games ago against Texas Tech, hit for the cycle. That's a rare feat. The first Cardinal to do that since 2011. Count now 3-1. Hit hard and into left field. And that's the 8th hit of the day for Stanford, a 2-out single for Trevor Haskins to extend the inning.
Yeah, just pulled that one into the gap. Trevor Haskins has been hitting of late, and that is certainly a terrific sign.
So Brady Reynolds will come to the plate. Last night's hero, looking for his first hit today, 0 for 2. Batting .243 with a couple home runs. Wilford at 85 pitches as he throws to first, and Haskins dives back. As Troy mentioned, there is some action in the Cougars bullpen. Trying to get through 6 innings here as a swing and a miss from Reynolds. Well, you get through 6 innings, 3 runs or less, that's a quality start.
Yep.
Literally, that's not just my opinion. That's a stat. 6+ innings, 3 earned runs or fewer. Another throw to first, and Haskins dives back again.
I trust your opinion on those kinds of things.
Haskins has stolen 1 bag this year, and they're keeping a close eye on him. He's back safely again. Cardinal trying to move above 500 in Pac-12 play. They're 5-5. Washington State at 6-7. And a good block there by Cresswell. Series finale will be tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. If Stanford can hang on today, they'll clinch a series win. Another throw to first. So Haskins certainly has drawn a lot of attention from Wilford. Not a huge lead, but 4 throws over. And that's a nice breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Wilford 3-2 this season. His ERA now at an even 4.50. And another throw to first base.
And he was terrific at Oregon State last year in the Cougar series down there. Made 2 appearances, 7 shutout innings. No hit ball as well. Walked 1 and struck out 9.
And he gets the strikeout here, his 4th of the game. And Connor Wilford through 6 innings. It is a quality start. We'll head to the 7th. Stanford still on top, 3-0. Top of the 7th inning at Sunken Diamond. Stanford leading Washington State 3-0. Ben Ross and Troy Clarity with you on the broadcast today. Thanks for joining us on Pac-12 Plus and the Stanford live stream. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Cougars. Joey Kramer, Alan Shibley, and Kason Taggart. Christian Lim, all he's allowed today is a walk. 6 strikeouts through the first 6. First pitch is popped down the right field line. A long run into foul territory. And Reynolds just unable to squeeze it as he hit the railing. And let's make sure he's okay. Looks like he is. Just a violent collision, I think, helped jar that ball free.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Or perhaps, Brady trying to negotiate where the fence was. Maybe the muscle memory trying to, that taking up a lot of it. Perhaps couldn't quite put the clamps on the glove there a bit.
So it's 0-1 on Kramer, who struck out in the first, flied out in the fourth. 316 hitter. Takes a fastball high and away.
Lim's pitch count by innings so far, 9, 10, 15, 8, 12, and 21.
Pulled to third base, scooped up by Becerra. And an accurate throw for the first down. And that 6th inning was really the first time today that he's had to make any sort of stressful pitches. Cougars did get a runner into scoring position. Their only base runner today has come on a walk. And now here's Shibley. So the pitch count now for Lim is at 78. Shibley 0 for 2 with a pop out and a strikeout. And that curveball has been working today. That's strike 1.
Shibley a solo home run last week at Washington in that series.
Another breaking ball right on the outside corner. Paint job. 0-2.
Well, let's see if Lim tries another curve here or if he mixes it up a bit.
Got him swinging. And he's stuck with the breaking ball at 77. That's his 7th strikeout of the game.
That was impressive.
It really was.
I mean, everyone in this ballpark may have thought that curve might have been coming on 0-2. And to have the chutzpah to throw it, number 1. And then to get it over for strike 3. That was impressive stuff.
Here's Kason Taggart. A couple of flyouts to left. Takes ball 1. Well, if you're wondering, Christian Lim's season high for pitches came last start against Utah. That was 109. He's only at 82 right now, as that's fouled back. Christian Lim's season high for innings pitched, 7. He went 7 innings against USC a few weeks ago. So if he can get one more out here, that would match his season and career high. The 1-1. Pulled foul. Christian Lim just keeping these hitters off balance. The fastball and the curve, the change of location and speed, about 12, 13 mile an hour difference between the pitches. And he's had a lot of hitters reaching. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taggart, a dangerous hitter, 321 average, 6 home runs. A team leading 29 RBIs. Lefty-lefty matchup here. As Lim comes to the plate with the 2-2. Fastball just outside. And a full count. Griffin Sotomayor would hit next. Here's the 3-2. Caught looking. Taggart can't believe it. He was on his way to first base, thought it was ball 4, but it's the 8th strikeout of the game for Christian Lim. And Taggart will walk back to the dugout. Nathan Choate coming out to argue with Kelly Gonzalez, the home plate umpire. Has to be careful not to get tossed, but we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. 8 strikeouts for Christian Lim. It's 3-0 Stanford. 3-0 Stanford on top of Washington State. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the top of the order for the Cardinal. Owen Cobb, Court McDonald, Malcolm Moore. They'll be facing Connor Wilford, who's back out for his 7th inning of work. 89 pitches through the first 6. He's allowed 3 earned runs on 8 hits, 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. And a first pitch strike to Cobb. On one of those 8 hits, a home run from Owen Cobb in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Jimmy Nadai has also homered for the Cardinal in this game. And it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, and that home run by Nadai hit the deep center field. Technically went about 399, 6 inches, but off of Alan Shibley's glove and over the fence, off the batter's eye. That's a home run.
1-2. Yeah, that's how the Cardinal got on the board in the bottom of the 2nd inning to go up 1-0. Stanford added 2 more runs in the 3rd, and that's been it. 3-0. Christian Lim has been terrific today. 7 innings, all he's allowed is a walk. And 8 strikeouts. Fouled back, nice job by Cobb to reach out, stay alive, still 1-2. So there's still action in the Washington State bullpen. We'll see how much longer Wilford is allowed to go. Another 1-2. Just in, 2-2. We've seen some great pitching performances these first 2 games. Grant Taylor and Matt Scott last night. Christian Lim, Connor Wilford today. And a foul ball.
Heads up.
Yeah, that's when you're happy to have that protective railing in front of your dugout.
That's why it's there.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Owen Cobb. Over the mound, backhanded by Park. Tough throw, and it's not in time. An infield single for Owen Cobb, who's now 2 for 4 today.
Boy, and that is a tough throw for Park to try to make. The angle there. Just really almost throwing it behind him to try to get it to first base. And he got it there, but I think Cobb beat the throw as opposed to Kramer having his foot come off the bag more than anything else.
Yeah, I think so too. I couldn't tell if the foot was definitely on the bag, but either way, I think Cobb beat it. And now you've got some speed on the base paths. Owen Cobb, 3 for 5 stealing bases this year. As Court McDonald, speed at the plate. Shows bunt. Pulls it back for ball 1. McDonald 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Hitting .337, 3 home runs, 18 batted in.
His older brother Caden plays at Princeton.
Couple of pretty good academic institutions there.
At least one of them, anyway.
Runner goes, fly ball to left. Taggart is under it. And Owen Cobb has to hustle back to first base. 1 away. So now Malcolm Moore, who has been on base all 3 times today, walked in the first inning, singled in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th. And let's see if he's going to face Connor Wilford or somebody out of the bullpen. Nathan Choate making the slow walk out to the mound. Wilford is at 98 pitches. This could be Choate asking his big right-hander how he's feeling. If he's still got something in the tank. Maybe talking strategy as well. guy in Malcolm Moore who's hit the ball hard, and now he's going to call for the lefty.
Yeah, Moore with a walk, a single, and a double today. Maybe not a bad idea for Nathan Choate to turn to reinforcements here.
We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. It's 3-0 Stanford in the bottom of the 7th. Liam Miller is the new pitcher for Washington State. Another big, tall man on the mound, 6'6" left-hander, 242 pounds, sophomore from Rancho Palos Verdes in Southern California. This will be his third appearance. It's been a struggle this year. 2 2/3 innings of work, 6 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. And he will be asked to face the home run leader in this Stanford lineup, Malcolm Moore, with a runner on first, 1 out. Cardinal leading Washington State 3-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. And the first pitch is outside. Moore walked in the first inning, singled in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th. Been on base 3 times today. We mentioned his 8 home runs to lead the Cardinal. 18 runs batted in this year. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
Can't close the book on Connor Wilford, of course, as of yet, as he's responsible for Owen Cobb at first. But Wilford 6 1/3, 9 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
And as of now, the 3 earned runs allowed. 3-0. Miller has not walked a batter this year in 2 2/3, but he's behind now, 3-0.
That ball kind of seemed to come out of Miller's hand a bit funnily.
Still have to be careful with Moore, even on 3-0. Called strike. Malcolm Moore, the reigning Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, a preseason All-American, Golden Spikes watch list. He was a freshman All-American last year as well. 3-2.
Well, I'm not sure if Miller just kind of does something a little bit funky with his wrist that kind of hides the exact release point where the ball is coming from, but it's a little tough to pick up out of his hand.
Here comes the payoff pitch. Hit hard on the ground to second. This could be 2. Low throw. Back to first in time. Park to Wise to Kramer. 4-6-3. That was a 104 mile an hour exit velo. Hot shot to second, but nicely turned on the infield. We're through 7 from Sunken Diamond. Stanford leading Washington State 3-0. We head to the 8th inning from Sunken Diamond. Stanford leading Washington State 3-0. And now once again on the play-by-play, Troy Clarity.
Thank you, Ben. Defensive change for Stanford. Ethan Hott is in the game, replacing Court McDonald in center, while McDonald moves from center to left, replacing Luke Lavin. Pinch hitter for Washington State, hitting in Griffin Sotomayor's spot, the DH designation. In the 5th spot in the Washington State batting order is Logan Johnstone. Johnstone, a redshirt sophomore from Los Gatos, transfer from Gonzaga. We saw him last night in the pinch hit role, and he ended up walking in the 8th inning last night. Christian Lim still on the mound for the Cardinal. First pitch for him is popped up. Playable. Becerra straddling the foul line. 1 away.
Well, you love that late in the game. 1 pitch, 1 out. Lim now at 88 pitches, still doing just fine on pitch count. 5 outs away.
8 strikeouts versus 1 walk, and no hits allowed for Lim. Will Cresswell steps up to the plate. Cresswell sent one to deep center, but it was caught by Court McDonald to end the second, and struck out in the 5th. High strike called there. 0-1 to Cresswell. Will pounded the Pilots at Portland on March 26th, went 4 for 4 that day. His batting average went from 171 to 256 in just 1 game. There's the curve from Lim, who shakes his left arm. And the count goes to 0-2. The 0-2. Hit right back to Lim and through for a base hit. A hot shot right into center field. And Lim gets an ovation from the Sunken Diamond crowd after going 7 1/3 before giving up his first base hit of the afternoon.
Well, no doubt about that one. 105 miles an hour off the bat, a solid single up the middle, and a well-deserved ovation for Christian Lim. And now the attention really turns to closing out this game. Only up 3-0. Cougars trying to rally back here. They've now got the potential tying run in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, Coug still within sight as Cole Kramer steps up to the plate. Kramer struck out in the 3rd and walked to lead off the 6th. He was the first base runner of the day for the Cougs. As he looks at the fastball upstairs for ball 1. Eli Kennel is now pinch running for Cresswell at first. Kennel, a sophomore from Monmouth, Oregon. He transferred from Oregon State. 1 ball, no strikes. Floats it down low, 2-0 to Kramer. Boy, transfer from Oregon State to Washington State. I know that that there's a rivalry there between those 2 schools. I didn't quite realize that was legal. 2-0. Fastball, high strike called again, 2-1. I mean, it's not quite on the level as the rivalry that Oregon and Washington is. Certainly not between Washington and Washington State. But 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch. Hit to center field. Hot. Back. And it's over his head and bouncing to the wall. Kennel. Rounding 3rd. The throw not cut off, but Kennel beats it in. And the Cougs are on the board. It's 3-1 after the towering double by Cole Kramer.
Well, credit to Washington State. They have hung around in this game. Connor Wilford did a nice job keeping them close, and now the Bats getting going in the 8th inning. This one far from over. And if you're David Esker, at what point do you think about maybe going to your bullpen? I think we'll probably see Lim get at least 1 more batter. But those last 2 have been hit hard.
Well, Thomas Eager, the Kathy Wolf assistant coach, in charge of pitching as well as heading out to the mound. There has been action in the Stanford bullpen. It is a right-handed pitcher. We cannot see exactly who that pitcher is. It's tough from our vantage point, number 1. And Cardinal red numbers on a black jersey also don't quite help out the cause that much either.
Limit 95 pitches. This is now a season high as far as innings pitched at 7 1/3. Again, his season high for pitches coming last start against Utah, 109.
Conference done. And Wise steps back up. He's 0 for 2. Hitting to a fielder's choice in his last plate appearance.
Being told by our friends that's Torin O'Haron warming up. just in case you were curious.
I was curious. It's good to have operatives in the building.
Oh yeah, we got lots of sources.
Runner at second is Kramer. Cole Kramer, that is. There's that slider. Catches the outside corner for strike one to Wise. Yep. Oregon State, Washington State, rivals together. And, of course, now they're in pretty much the same boat right now. Their futures are tethered together. On the ground to second. Cobb to first in time for the out as Cole Kramer advances over to third.
Good job by Lim, regaining his composure, getting some soft contact there. And now 1 out away from getting out of this inning. If you're Washington State, that's obviously a huge run at third. Even if you can't come all the way back here in the eighth to tie it, get within 1 run heading to the ninth, that makes things real dicey. As we saw yesterday when Stanford came from behind.
Yep. Crew Park 0 for 2. Fastball, the high pitch there, not called. 1 ball to Park, who is 0 for 4 overall in this series. He had a 3-hit game in his Washington State debut against Utah Tech in the season opener. Off the fist, fouled back, 1-1. I did see, when I was in Portland last week for the women's basketball tournament, I did see a few folks walking around with the Pac-2 T-shirts, and I had to chuckle. 1-1. Curve. Right down palm drive, 1-2. Had to laugh to keep from getting angry.
Yeah.
Cole Kramer, the runner at third. His RBI double with Crew Park at the plate. The pitch from Lim. Misses high. 2-2.
Well, he has not lost any velocity. That's 91 miles an hour right there.
That's where he's topped out.
Yeah, he's been sitting around 90, high 80s. Over 100 pitches now.
Two balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the ground to Cobb. The throw over to first in time for the out. Cougs get their first hit and their first run of the game as Kristen Lim heads back to the Stanford dugout. Cardinal lead 3-1, bottom of the 8th straight ahead. 3-1 Stanford leading Washington State, bottom of the 8th, about to begin with a new battery for the Cougs. As Jacob Morrow replaces Will Cresswell, who was pinch run for in the last half inning. Morrow behind the dish, a senior from Warrenton, Oregon. New pitcher for the Cougs is Andrew Bond, 6'3", 215, a senior out of Las Vegas, transferred from the College of Southern Idaho. Big difference. Bond's numbers as we go. Jimmy Natai stepping up to the plate. Natai with a solo home run to begin the second inning. Also a sac fly RBI in the third. He's down in the count 0-1. Bond making his 12th appearance of the year, an 0-2 record, and an ERA of 9 flat. As that one is a slider that goes over. And Natai's down 0-2. Bond, 11 earned runs and 11 innings of work. 13 of those, or 2 of those runs were unearned. The 0-2 bounces to Morrow. 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. Opposing batters hitting .404 against Bond, who took the loss at Portland on March 26th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tries to nibble on the inside corner, but misses. 2-2. Bond's last outing was in the second game of the series last week at Washington. Went an inning and 2/3, gave up a hit and a run, but it was unearned. This one is cranked foul. Count stays at 2-2. Two and two. Off the fists, shallow right field, drops in front of Hartman for a base hit.
It's a nice at bat. Fought off a couple tough pitches, fought off that last one, and just had enough strength to get it into right field.
Ethan Hott, who came in as a defensive replacement in the top of the 8th, now gets his first chance to grab a bat. Hott, the sophomore from Paradise Valley, Arizona. Slashing .327, .413, .418. No home runs and 4 RBI. Hott showing bunt. Pulls it back. Fastball inside for ball 1 to Hott. Hott, 2-time first team All-State back in high school, back in Arizona. 1-0. This is low, 2-0. Some good talent on the high school ranks in the state of Arizona. The 2-0. In front of it, fouls it off, 2-1. Baseball a bit popular in the Grand Canyon State, especially in February and March in particular, I'm told.
A lot of good ball players coming from that state.
Either from high school or college or both. Back to first. Two balls, one strike. And Bond throws back to first once again. One of these days I'll try to hit spring training. I've got to.
Yeah, me too, actually. I've never been.
Yeah.
And I need to.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
As do you.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Granted, I was a little busy this March, so that might have been tough to pull off.
That's true. You have a good excuse.
Yeah. Basketball. 2-2. Back to first yet again. Nani with the leadoff single. There's college basketball being played right now, actually. In Phoenix. It's all tying together.
It's all coming together.
The 2-2. Low one outside. Count full to Hott. I'm just glad UConn got to Phoenix. Well, they had some problems with their plane, some staffing issues. They actually didn't get into Phoenix until 3:15 local time in the morning. Well, staffing issues can get you when you're trying to fly. Happened to be in Pullman in February. That's why I was 7 hours late getting out of there.
Oh, man.
The light snow didn't help, but flight attendants with sinus infections, yeah, they can't fly.
Nope.
Runner going. And it's a strike him out. The throw down to second. Got him. Strike him out. Throw him out. 2 big outs for the Cougs.
That's a good throw from Morrow. Just came into the game and was tested immediately. On the money.
Brings up Charlie Som. Som 0 for 3 today. So relatively quiet for him based on some of the afternoons he's had of late. Swings and misses, strike one. Yeah, the Pullman Airport is just one room. And that can have its advantages. It's a bit jarring at first when you walk in there and they go, oh, this is it? Oh,
This is
okay.
it.
All right.
Where's the rest of it?
That's it. Flight out of there was at 5 a.m., scheduled for 5 a.m. I walk in there at 4:15. I was about to drop in my rental car into the lockbox, and the airline ticket agent across the hall says, wait, no, sir, stop. Your plane's delayed until about 11:30.
Oh, man.
Swing and a miss by Sam. Count goes to 1-2. So thank goodness that airport, that terminal building is small enough for the airline ticket agent across the way to see what I was about to do.
Seriously.
Otherwise, I would have been
Saved
spending
you.
an extra 7 hours in that one room.
Saved you.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Blocked by Morrow. So instead, went back to the hotel. They let me back into the room I just checked out of a half hour
nice.
before.
Helped you out.
Had a nice breakfast at Zoe's. And eventually got out of Pullman.
I've never flown into Pullman. I've flown to Spokane.
Okay.
When I've gone to Washington State.
Yeah.
So I have not seen that airport.
Well, they're building a new terminal building, which I think is supposed to open here within the next couple months. So it'll be a lot bigger. The 3-2 pitch. And Sam walks. So the inning is extended for Timo Becerra, who doubled in the 4th inning.
Good plate appearance there by Sam.
Yep.
And that strike him out, throw him out double play looks even bigger now. But again, I like these at bats the Cardinal have been having today. 10 hits.
Yeah.
They've really battled, and even ahead here in the 8th inning, they know how big any insurance run would be.
And they've had base runners in every single half inning. As Becerra looks at strike 1.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a bigger lead. That really the only thing they haven't done well is hit with runners on.
Yeah.
1 for 14. They're 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Waves at the slider, down and away. 0-2 to Becerra. So, yeah, gonna miss going up to Pullman. I'll probably have a lot more thoughts on this tomorrow during the series finale, but gonna miss going up there. Special place.
Yeah.
Great fans up that way. No balls, 2 strikes. As we here at Stanford will be trading Pullman for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, it's bittersweet. I mean, it's a historic conference with great fans in great cities.
And that's no knock on Pittsburgh at all. I love Pittsburgh.
Well, I was going to say,
I lived there for 4 years. It's a great place.
I was also going to say, it's at the same time, it is at least exciting to go experience some new stadiums and fan bases and cities.
Throw back over to first yet again. Yeah, you don't think I'm not looking forward to being in Clemson for when the Tigers run down the hill?
Absolutely.
Rub the rock on their way down? That's going to be something to see.
Mm-hmm.
The 1-2 pitch. Reaches out and lines it to Wise and retires the side. 3-1 Stanford with the lead. It comes down to the 9th inning. Can the Cardinal close this one out and claim the series? Let's find out together in just a moment on Stanford Livestream. Stanford leading Washington State 3-1 as we begin the top of the 9th inning. And the Cardinal turning to a new pitcher as Christian Lim's afternoon is done. Nick Dugan on to try to close it out, the sophomore from Eureka, California. Dugan about to make his 9th appearance, his 3rd in relief of the season. A 3-2 record, an ERA of 5.62, does have 1 save to his credit. And that came against Creighton back on March 25th. 32 innings pitched, 35 hits, 21 runs, 20 of them earned, 31 strikeouts versus 12 walks, with opposing batters hitting .278 against Dugan. His first order of business is to try to retire Max Hartman, who is still looking for his first base hit of this series. He is 0 for 8. Close the book on Christian Lim. 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, was earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And I would imagine certain consideration for potentially his third Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week award this season.
I would think so.
The 0-1. Tails outside, 1-1.
Let's see what other pitching performances there are, but tough to be much better than he was.
Once he gets that curve going. 1-1. And Dugan just fired that one into the dirt. 2-1. Dugan threw 3 scoreless at Texas Tech on Tuesday. No decision against the Red Raiders. Wind starting to kick up just a bit. As that goes up high. 3-1.
Well, this goes without saying, but up by 2 runs, the last thing you want to do is issue a walk and gift the Cougars the tying run to the plate.
And that's exactly what happens. Leadoff walk, Hartman aboard. First time that he has reached base in this series.
So this becomes a big at bat. Tying run at the plate. Cougars happy to see a new pitcher after how good Christian Lim was, and they got the top of the order this inning. Let's see if they can return the favor, do what Stanford did last night.
Kramer 0 for 3. As Dugan fires a fastball in there, called strike 1. Joey Kramer carried a 12-game hit streak through much of the month of March. He hit .510 with 4 home runs and 10 RBI during that span. Sends this one deep, but well foul. So Joey Kramer hitting .510 during that span. Not bad for the kid from the 707. See what I did there?
Yep.
Hartman at first. The 0-2 pitch. Tails low and away.
Yeah, Kramer's got some pop. As you saw in that long foul ball, 6 home runs, tied for the team lead. Guy you have to be careful with.
A 1-2. Curve. Kramer in front of it. Chops it. And rolling it beyond the Washington State dugout. There was action in the Stanford pen a moment ago, as there is someone on the mound, but he's not throwing right now. The 1-2 pitch from Dugan. Fastball misses high, 2-2. Dugan grew 2 inches from last year. He's now 6'2". The 2-2 pitch. Joey Kramer goes up, gets it, and fouls it off well out of play. Ben Reimers, who got the win last night, resupplies Kelly Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, with a fresh supply of balls. And off we go. The 2-2 pitch from Dugan. Got him looking. Called strike 3.
Kramer didn't like that call either, but certainly with 2 strikes, that one I think is too close to take. And a big pitch by Dugan after the leadoff walk. It's a good way to respond.
Alan Shibley is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Takes a fastball, called strike 1. Just 2 base hits for the Cougs so far, both of them coming in the 8th inning. The 0-1. Painting the outside corner here. 0-2.
Well, Dugan has corrected whatever command issues he had. The first batter, Hartman. He's locked in now, hitting his spots.
No balls and 2 strikes. Tries to drop the breaking ball in there, but it goes too low.
Good 2-strike pitch. Shibley wouldn't bite.
Hartman at first. The 1-2. Curveball in there. Got him looking. Stanford 1 out away.
Came back with the curve, and he put it right in the zone. Back-to-back Ks. And again, Dugan, after that leadoff walk, has really found his command. But another tough hitter here, a guy with some pop who could definitely tie this game.
Taggart 0 for 3 today. Takes a fastball, strike 1. Taggart's OPS right now, by the way, 925. Continuing the Bay Area codes string that has somehow developed. 1-1.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
All around us.
That's right. When did 628 start? When did that become a thing?
I don't know. I'm always behind on these things.
Curve misses low, 2-1.
I've still got my 5-1-0.
That's all you need, really.
But that's all I remember.
2 balls, 1 strike. Hartman at first. He walked. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-2.
80 miles an hour. Had him out in front. Pulled the string on him. A good pitch. And now he's got the full array at his disposal on 2-2.
The 2-2 pitch. Off the fist. Bounces underneath Becerra's glove. So the inning extended on the error by Becerra.
It's not an easy play. It's a do-or-die play, trying to pick that short hop. He knew he had to hurry with Taggart busting up the line, and now it's up to Dugan to see if he can pick up his third baseman.
Logan Johnstone, with his second plate appearance, popped up to third in the 8th. Johnstone from Los Gatos. Fastball, strike 1 called. Tying run at first. Hartman at second. And Dugan paints the outside corner. The 0-2 from Dugan. Bounces to Moore. Everybody stays put. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Slow roller to short. Transfer, throw, got him. And that's your ball game. Behind magnificent pitching by Christian Lim and a couple of early solo home runs, the Cardinal beat the Cougars and claimed the series. The final score today, Stanford 3, Washington State 1. Stanford now 13-15 on the year and above 500, 6-5 on the Pac-12 table, while the Cougars fall to 16-13 and 6-8 in conference action. Star of the show today, Christian Lim, the freshman from Nashville. Lim lights out. 8 innings, 2 hits, Both of those base hits not coming until the 8th inning. 1 run. It was earned. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Lim's pitching pointing the way to victory for Stanford this afternoon.
He was simply brilliant, and you mentioned it. He's already won 2 Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week awards so far this year. Definitely in the running to win a 3rd this week. He kept these Cougars hitters off balance. The curveball was terrific all day. The fastball, he was locating it. Now lowered his ERA to 2.89 for the season. What a freshman campaign he's having. We talked about how he doesn't pitch like a freshman. He pitches like a veteran, and he did the same thing today.
Mixed up his pitches, showed terrific command, was hitting spots, especially when he needed to. Lim putting it all together and helping Stanford shackle the Cougars, which, again, it bears repeating, coming into this week, had the 2nd highest team batting average in the Pac-12, batting .299 as a team. Well, based on what they've done today, and yesterday as well. Don't forget, Washington State didn't exactly light it up last night either with just 3 base hits. Stanford starting pitching, getting the job done against an offense that had been performing quite well for the most part coming into this week. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Washington State. 3 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Cardinal. Christian Lim gets the win. He's now 3-2 on the season. Give Nick Dugan his 2nd save of the year. Connor Wilford pitched well. It goes down as a quality start, but it also goes down as a loss as he falls to 3-3 on the season. Time of today's game, 2 hours and 23 minutes. Today's attendance, 1,510. Well, Stanford needed to win this series. They've checked that off. Needed to find a way to start gaining some momentum now that we've hit the month of April. And the tasks get tougher as Pac-12 play continues. Stanford able to check off that mark of winning the series. Why not? Let's go for a sweep tomorrow, see what happens.
That's what coaches and managers always say, right? The goal is to go win a series, but once you take the first 2, get greedy. Go after that sweep. You've got it rolling now. No reason to let that stop.
Should be fun tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. first pitch right here at Sunken Diamond. Your probables for Washington State. Spencer Jones, no, not that Spencer Jones, formerly of Stanford men's basketball. And Nick Dugan listed as a probable. That was at the start of this series. Dugan just got the save. Could still happen. We don't know. One way to find out, join us here at 1 o'clock tomorrow on Stanford Live Stream. Special thanks to our crew, as always. My broadcast partner, Ben Ross. I'm Troy Clarity. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and go Stanford. Final score, Card over the Cougs, 3-1.